Hi everyone, my name is Nikki Windsor and I'm the founder of Jungle Goddess. I'm a culinary wellness coach and I'm here every week talking to you about culinary wellness. So really sharing some wellness wisdom with you. Now my Jungle Goddess started as a fermented food and drink business. So I wanted to cover today one of the fermented foods that I used to make and one that I still enjoy making to today. So I'm going to be talking to you about water kefir. So water kefir is probably one of the easiest fermented sodas that you can make. So fermented sodas is some natural sodas. One of the most common at the moment is kombucha. But this is so much easier to make than kombucha, and I actually prefer it as a drink. So fermented sodas, so this is a lacto fermentation, so it's a lactic acid fermentation. Well, kombucha is an acetic acid and a lactic acid fermentation. So acetic acid is basically, it's like vinegar, and that's why kombucha, if you leave it, it will actually turn to vinegar. So that's why you get that more acidic flavour to it. So this I find is a lot lighter, and I said it's so much easier to make. This you're making within 48 hours. The first ferment, it takes 24 hours. The second ferment usually takes 24 hours. So I'm going to take you through the process. So this is basically water kefir is kefir grains, which is a SCOBY. SCOBY is a symbiotic colony of bacteria and yeasts. And you put it in water and sugar, basically. I'm using a demerara sugar here. You can use various different types of sugar. I don't use refined white sugar. So I'll use a mixed brown of molasses. Kefir loves molasses, but in small amounts. And it's because of the high mineral content. So this being a demerara sugar, it's got more minerals. And it's one that gives it this browner colour. So basically these water kefir grains have been in this sugar water for 24 hours, and I'm literally just going to strain it off. So that's all the kefir grains. Now you don't normally make kefir with this many grains. It's just I have an excess of them at the moment. In a litre of water, you would use maybe 2 tablespoons of grains. So the grains, I mean, these are very healthy grains. You can tell by the size of them. They're a translucent, rubbery grain. And basically that's a colony of different bacteria and yeasts. And they eat the sugar that I'm putting in this sugar water, and basically impart probiotic qualities. So basically this is got live bacteria in it. So once you've drained off your grains, you bottle up. So basically you get a bottle and you're going to fill it with the kefir water. A little bit too much. You want to leave some space to put the flavouring in. So you can flavour kefir with all sorts of different things. And what I've got here I'm doing a bit of Costa Rica reminiscing because these are fruits that I used to enjoy out there. So this is Pitaya. So Pitaya, or it's called dragonfruit. This is a white one. You can get purple ones as well that are this really vibrant purple, and they turn the kefir a beautiful colour. So I'm also using passion fruit. So there's two different types of passion fruit. This is the one that's more common over here. It's a smaller purple passion fruit. The ones I used to get in Costa Rica are yellow, and they're a lot bigger. They're more this kind of size. I used to make passion fruit hot sauce. And it's actually my favourite flavouring for kefir. So both of these are really high in antioxidants. So passion fruit, or as we would call it, maracuya, is a good source of fibre. Both of these are really good sources of fibre. Vitamin C, vitamin A. It's a very nutrient-dense fruit. But with this, allergies are possible. They're rare, but people who have latex allergies can find that they have an allergic reaction to passion fruit. But they are rare. So the Pitaya as well is high in fibre, in antioxidants, vitamins and minerals. This is also very high in prebiotics. Now, prebiotics is a type of fibre that your probiotics, your beneficial bacteria, feed off of. This is their food, the fibre, the prebiotic fibre in here. So there's different ways in which you can add fruit. I just add it in chunks. So I add a load of chunks. Now I might add ginger, I might add turmeric, blackberries, raspberries. So I add these in. And the second ferment is where the flavour really develops. You want to leave some space at the top. So I'll put another couple of bits in. Another way in which you can do this is you can blend the fruit and put the fruit in, but then it does tend to separate. I only do 2-stage fermentation, the making the kefir and then flavouring it. You can actually do a 3rd stage where you filter out the flavouring that you've put in there. So then you'll end up with a clearer kefir. But these, I just drink it as is, and I'll eat the fruit as well. I like to give my bacteria in here a little extra sugar. So I just add like a teaspoon of sugar. Now what this does, it gives the bacteria in here a little bit of a boost, which helps the carbonation process. And that's the other reason for stage 2 of the ferment, is to add flavour and to carbonate. So you want a jar, you want a bottle that's going to seal. So these are perfect bottles. They have this rubber seal. So what it means is that the gas that gets produced in the carbonation process is never going to exceed, or isn't likely to exceed, the pressure of the bottle, because any excess gas will come out of the seal. That's one thing that you have to be aware of with regular bottles. It is a carbonation process. Gas will build up and bottles can explode. So that's why you don't do a second ferment for very long, and be aware of temperature. The warmer it is, the faster it will happen. Then once it's carbonated, then you put it into the fridge. So that's one with Pitaya or dragonfruit, and then just repeat the process. So fill up your bottle. Add a little bit of sugar. You don't have to do this, but I find it just helps boost that carbonation process. So what's happening is that those bacteria are eating this sugar. And then, see, I could just put in the juice, but I always add the fruit as well. Maybe a bit too much. Passion fruit on its own is a little sour, so with the sugar in here, it's naturally sweetens the juice. Let's mix it up a bit for that sugar. Now this is a new one for me. So what I'm going to do here is a Dandelion Kefir. So I was just out at lunchtime walking the dogs, and there's a garden I pass that is prolific with dandelions. So I just grabbed a few dandelion heads and wash them and push them into this. Now, dandelions are super nutritious, high in antioxidants. They're a digestive bitter, so they're really good with digestion. Got high minerals, vitamins, and dandelion greens you can add to your salads. Dandelion root tea, the root is particularly beneficial, and it's used a lot as if you've got constipation issues. It's a really good herb to make a tea out of. So understand that it's very delicious in water kefir. So this is a new one on me. So, but it looks pretty, doesn't it? But you're just limited by your imagination with it as far as flavours are concerned. So now this, I'm going to leave this on the side for another 24 hours, 24 to 36 hours. Less time if it's really warm, a bit more time if it's cooler. And then I'll put it into the fridge. I usually leave it in the fridge for a couple of weeks before I drink it, so that it really gets carbonated. And these are super refreshing. It's great to use with foraged herbs and fruits. So it won't be long until the elderflower bushes are going to be blooming. And elderflower kefir is super nice. It's kind of like a bit like champagne. It's very fizzy. Kefir gets very fizzy, but it's a really light flavour. Later in the year, you can put in elderberries as well. So yeah, that is Water kefir, great probiotic drink, not as acidic as kombucha and super easy to make. So I'm going to be offering a class on how to make water kefir, and if you're in the UK, then I can send you some grains and you can start making your own. So if you've got any questions about any of this, then just drop a note in the comments. Otherwise, I'm Nikki Windsor, Jungle Goddess. I help people with digestive issues find lifestyle and dietary changes that can help improve their health. I'll see you again next week.